Has anybody ever heard of this? What is it? An egg with money in it? Nope. Putty. Okay. Silly putty. I found this about a month ago in a store, and I was so excited because I remember when I was your age, I played with silly putty. 2 or 3 years ago. It hasn't been that long. And I was so excited. What are y'all laughing about? I was so excited to find silly putty because I remember all the things that silly putty did. And this says the original. Well, I was so excited because with silly putty, there's so many things that you can do with silly putty. One of the things is and you can't do it in here because it's carpet, but I can make it into a ball and it will bounce. You already know that. And you can press it, like there's some writing on this, you can press it against this, and it puts the shape of that, makes the image of that onto this. One of the things you can do with it is it will pull and pull and pull. It's not like chewing gum, but it'll pull. Isn't that cool? And when I was a little girl, now I tried this, and I don't think it must not be the original anymore, because when I was a little girl, I could take the Sunday comics, and I could stretch it out, and I could push it down on the comics, and it would be on this. But it didn't work. I couldn't bring that to show you because it didn't work now. But boys and girls, I got to thinking about silly putty and how it pertains to us. And one of the things is I told you that it bounces. Well, sometimes our life seems a little bouncy. I know some of you kids are so involved in so much. You do sports and you do dancing and you do all of these things and you're so busy. So you're bouncing around from one thing to another, which means your parents are bouncing around from one thing to another. Another thing is sometimes we're really stretched out. There's so much going on in our lives that we're really stretched out. And sometimes we want to take the shape of things that are around us. Like we want to be just like our friends. If you look when you go, and y'all are too young to know this, but the people that are sitting in church today, remember, if you look back in your high school annuals, you can look and see just about all the girls' hair was in the same style. Sometimes it was really big and sometimes it was really long. But we want to look like everybody else. We want to be like everybody else. We want to take the image of the things that are around us. Well, boys and girls, the last thing I want to tell you about silly putty is silly putty was a mistake. They started making it back in World War II. I think it was about 1942, 43 when they were making silly putty, and they were making it out of silicone, trying to find something that they could harden, and it never worked. And so they decided to make it as a kid's toy. So it's been around for a long, long time. But boys and girls, that's the one thing that's different, is that God made us, and He did not make a mistake. Boys and girls, He made you perfect. You were not a mistake. You were not a kid's toy. You were not something that was not supposed to be. You are perfect. No mistake there. So boys and girls, if you ever see any silly putty in the store, you need to buy it. And if yours works to be able to take that image off the Sunday comics, you let me know, because mine sure didn't. Boys and girls, let's walk real quietly up to Children's Church.